Hi guys! Recently my crafty friend Kim from Art by Marlene Dream Team inspired me to take my gel plate for a play a bit. So I thought in this video to show you how to enhance your gel prints a bit and make them more special. For today on my craft table I have a gel printing plate and a page from a handy size journal from Art by Marlene. For first layer of paint I have picked Art by Marlene acrylic paint called Mudfight. It's a very rich brown color and I am spreading it using a brayer. As usual I put a little bit too much paint, so I am rubbing my brayer on the paper and trying to make a thin and even layer of paint on the gel plate. To make things more interesting, I will use one of Marlene stencils called Floral Frame. Now the idea was to remove the paint from all areas except those covered with the stencil, so I'm just using a simple printer paper to remove the paint. I guess I was a bit slow, so some of the paint didn't want to go, mostly there in the middle, but really not a big issue. Soon I will use a wet tissue to remove that paint from the middle, as you can see, but to be honest, it wasn't too successful, though at the end it didn't bother me much. And now when I remove the stencil, you can see the beautiful design which stayed on the gel plate. Of course, I am right away trying to clean my stencil, as I like them somewhat neat, though it's not really. So the time came for the next layer of paint. For that I chose a shade of blue called Mermaid. Here you will see me struggle a bit as my bottle of paint was pretty much empty. But I managed to squeeze just enough paint, as I also plan to mix this blue with a little bit of white acrylic paint called Lace. Again, I will spread the color using the brayer and always try to remove the excess amount of paint on a scrap piece of paper. Once I've evened out this layer of paint, I am placing my paper and I will try to rub it in really thoroughly, so I would manage to pick up as much as paint as possible. And now the time for the reveal. I was really happy with this print and combination of these two colors. But at this point I decided to enhance it a bit because it's a really beautiful stencil design. After the acrylic paint was dry, I will take colored pencils. For this I will mostly choose the shades which are already present on the printed paper. So somewhat brown, blue and a little bit of white. And I will go over already existing lines. Now I will be honest with you. At this point I was playing my serial on the computer and coloring at the same time. So I got a bit carried away, and you will see I did a bit of shading and adding some more colors like black and neon yellow. Sadly, I didn't catch it all on camera because the plan was actually just to add brown, blue and white. But anyway, soon you will see the result. It's really actually no fancy techniques, something like I was doing already here that I'm showing you. Just later on I added a bit of darker blue towards the edges of the shapes and neon yellow where the highlights would be. Sometimes when I make projects like this, particularly the coloring projects, I get carried away and I go really into making some small details which are mostly not even noticeable to some, particularly not always noticeable on photos. But you know, the point is that I love the whole process and I enjoy my art supplies. Anyway, here is my background after coloring. You can see I added those neon yellow highlights, a little bit black color towards the edges, trying to make the shadow of the frame. And really nothing really complicated. But now I wanted to add some splatters in white color, the lazy way, using an acrylic marker. Of course, for this you can just use simple acrylic paints. I could have maybe added a little more of brown splatters, but never mind. Now time for focal images. I went back to Out of This World collection paper pad. And I will use these girls that you can see I'm pushing out now. I originally intended to adhere them as they are, but as I was paging the paper pad, I noticed some cute details like these scarves and a little winter hat that I thought to add. Also later on I will add wings, because when I saw these wings I just decided to imagine these girls as little angels. And that's why I like these Art by Marlene paper pads, because sometimes just paging them gives me an inspiration. If you're curious about this paper pad or any other supplies that I have used for this project, you can find the links for them in the description box down below, as always. Now I will do one step which is not really necessary. I just like to do it for my art journal pages, and to cut out this frame around the images. Sometimes this frame is really thin, some other times it's bigger, and you don't have to cut it out, it's just how you like it better. Of course, after cutting out the frame, I will use a brush pen in black color. This is a Pigma Micron pen to go all around the edges, as I think it makes the cuts look more neat. And now again some more details, and that's adding the shadow to my die cuts. I will once again say this is really not necessary to do. This is just me enjoying my art supplies and the whole process of art journaling. But that said, it does slightly improve the overall looks. Anyway, here I just added some black lines with a simple colored pencil and blending them in with a paper stump. Of course, the next step was to adhere all elements using Art by Marlene sticky multi-glue. Now, of course, if you wish to create more dimension, you could use foam tape, but this time I opted for a very flat layout. After all the elements were adhered, I decided to add some more details, and for that I was using Art by Marlene Special Effect Glamour Glitter in diamond color. I am applying quite a generous layer over the wings, little details on the hat and the bow of the middle girl. Generally, I always feel like adding a little bit of glitter and shimmer is necessary when making seasonal or magical projects. And this more and more started to look like a little Christmas page. Now, of course, when this glitter is applied, it's quite milky and white, as you can see, but after drying it looks like this. Really beautiful, don't you think? Now, recently I bought myself a little treat, Iridescent oil pastels. I have never before worked with oil pastels, so I thought to try them out for fun. This is a gold pastel. It is really easy to work with. I just smudge it with my finger and gives really beautiful results. I hope you can see it here. I don't have fixative for oil pastels, but here I made this page a week ago and the paint didn't transfer to the back of the next page and it still looks really pretty. But of course, if you already have a fixative, you can try using it. Anyway, really beautiful medium, easy to work with, and it gives really nice results. I treated myself with 3 oil pastels as they are somewhat expensive. So I will try using one more. But first look at this result, how it looks. I am trying to catch the light for you. But now I will try to use this iridescent white oil pastel. And I will go over that middle section. In real, I felt like it was making my page look more white, though here on the camera it doesn't really look so. Though it did give a really beautiful shimmer effect. Here you can see the side where I have applied the oil pastel and where I haven't. You can see the difference, hopefully. It's a really pretty effect in real. Now, of course, let's not forget the sentiment. As usual, I will use one of Art by Marlene sticky quote booklets. This one is from the Signature Collection release. But I didn't want to adhere it just like this in one big line. Instead, I thought it would look better if I cut it in these 3 pieces. Of course, you can do it as you find it prettier. To make my sentiment more visible, I will once again use Pigmamicron pen, but this time in brown color, as I don't have much black details on my page, so I thought it would look more natural with the brown color. And that's about it. Here I'm trying to catch the light to show you all the little glitter and shimmer effects on my page, and I hope you like these effects as much as I do. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon again. Have a nice day. Bye!